It's October again, so what better to do than to show you a real nice trap in the Halloween Gambit. I'm gonna get straight into it. It's gonna go e4, e5, and we're gonna bring the knights out. And this is played in a lot of games. This is the 4 knights game. And here you can do a lot of things, but usually what we are gonna do, that's not what you see in a game. And that's just taking on e5. Now, this is unsound. If black knows what he's doing, he's completely winning. But we like to have some fun, and it's really tricky, especially in Bullet, and especially for Halloween, we like to perform some tricks. So let's see why this is so tricky. So black obviously takes the knight and thinks, okay, I'm just up a knight. Now we're gonna attack, and the first thing we have a little bit of compensation is we have the center. Now that's not enough compensation, but black needs to move his knight, because if we're gonna win a knight back, we are completely fine. So black usually goes back to c6 and thinks, okay, everything's all right. We're gonna attack the knight again, and now black thinks, okay, I can just go back to e5. This pawn is now pushed, can go backwards, so we can't attack the knight again. But we have another pawn, so we're gonna go f4. In this case, the knight decides to go to g6. And here we're gonna continue by attacking the other knight. And at this point, we're getting a lot of initiative. We've sacrificed a piece, but the initiative is ours. And especially in Bullet, like I said, this is going to be really tricky. And if you notice carefully here, these squares are covered by our knight. And all these squares are covered, these by our queen. So the knight needs to go back to g8. Here we're going to continue with d6, just attacking in the front. And black doesn't really have much to do. Fun fact, the engine already says if black doesn't take, it's an equal game, but usually black is gonna take. So we're gonna take back. And now black thinks he's out of the woods, and they usually play queen f6 just to attack these two pawns. And we can defend both, but we can be tricky again, and we're gonna play knight b5. Now again, this isn't the best move, but it's the most tricky one, so that's why we like to play it. And basically we're threatening a fork here, and black actually doesn't need to deal with it, but usually tries to deal with it. And the only way to deal with it is to move the king, because if you notice carefully, this square can be protected. They can give a piece back like this, but that's just bad. I mean, we can take with the knight, now it's jack. They shouldn't really take here because they lose their queen. So yeah, that's not really what they want to do. So the only way to prevent this check is to move the king here. So that's usually what happens in a game. And already this is an equal position. So even though black has made very natural moves after we sacrifice our knight, it's already an equal position. And here a really important move is to go bishop e3. And it looks like this is not that scary, right? We're attacking this pawn, but yeah, we're down a knight, so a pawn isn't really dangerous. But black decides to be materialistic and decides, okay, let's just kick out the knight now, because then everything is in control. But if you notice the evil bar, it should just shut up. That's a weird way to say it. And that's because we have this bishop jack here, and now we're actually completely winning. Why? Because they need to move their king now, there's nothing else they can do, and there's only one square. Now we can go for this fork, right? Because yeah, it's just a check to the king. He needs to go back, nothing else he can do. We take this rook and it comes with jack even, because it's a discovered jack, so they need to move the king again. We're gonna go here again, it's jack. This is covered, so they need to go back. Now we go here, again a discovered jack, and you can see what's happening. We're gonna win the queen, so the king moves here. We're gonna go here, again with check, so they are gonna take our knight in this case. And yeah, at this point you're already completely winning, but if you want to be especially precise, you can go queen e2 check here, and they have to give up yet another piece. Yeah, because the king can't move. Notice the bishop is still covering that. This is covered, but yeah, they need to block. If they block here, we can just check, and they have the same issue. So they need to either move the knight here and lose it, or move the bishop here and lose it. And yeah, we are completely winning. Even if you don't find queen e2 here, I mean, you're just up a queen, but yeah. This is really tricky, and like I said in Bullet, you should definitely try this if you like to have some fun. It is unsound, so expect to lose some games as well, but if you just want to have some fun, this is really nice to try. So yeah, let me know if you trick someone with this, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.